Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Pol Sc Gurukulam. Today we have another important discussion on answer writing skill for our upcoming annual examination. So in our last video we have already discussed about all the probable question for annual examination on political science. In the first unit, we have 4 important long questions. That is, the first question is definition of democracy and write down the basic features of democracy. ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ସଂଜ୍ଞା ଓ ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ମୁଖ୍ୟ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ ନିରୂପଣ କର. The second question is define democracy, evaluate the merits and demerits of democracy. ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ସଂଜ୍ଞା ଓ ଏହାର ସୁଗୁଣ ଏବଂ ଦୁର୍ଗୁଣ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଧାରଣ କର. In the third question we have the condition necessary for successful working of democracy. ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ସଫଳତା ପାଇଁ ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ସର୍ତ୍ତାବଳୀ. And in the last question we have the major challenges to democratic process in India. ଭାରତ ବର୍ଷରେ ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ର ପ୍ରତି ଥିବା ମୁଖ୍ୟ ଆହ୍ୱାନ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ବିଷୟରେ ଲେଖ. So before going to the question, we have to know how to answer a question. While answering any question, we have to look after some important points. Suppose we take a question that define democracy and write down its basic features. ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ସଂଜ୍ଞା ଓ ଏହାର ମୁଖ୍ୟ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ ନିରୂପଣ କର. The answer will be divided into 3 parts. The first part is our introductory part, where we have to write the meaning of democracy, and in the same introduction part we have to write some definitions on democracy, where we have to write at least 2 definitions on democracy. In the second part of the question, we have to write the basic features of democracy, the important basic features of democracy, where we have to write at least 8 basic features of democracy. And in the last part of the question, we have to write an conclusion. So in the last part of the question, we have to write a conclusion in 3 to 5 sentences. So in our today's discussion, we have the first question of first unit, that is definition of democracy and write down the basic features of democracy. ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ସଂଜ୍ଞା ଓ ଗଣତନ୍ତ୍ରର ମୁଖ୍ୟ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ ନିରୂପଣ କର. So our answer will be, first we have to write the introduction, where we have to write the meaning of democracy. In the meaning, we have the Economist Intelligence Unit or EIU 2019 report. The report says that around 165 independent countries of the world adopted democracy as their system of governance. In this list, the best democratic countries are Norway, Iceland, Sweden, New Zealand, Finland, Ireland, Canada, Denmark, Australia, Switzerland, and in the last, India. So we know that the Greek people have three major contributions to the world. One is democracy, another one is polity, and the third one is Olympic game, out of which democracy is an important contribution of the Greek people. So democracy derived from two Greek words. One is demos, another one is kratos or krasia. So demos means peoples or citizens, and kratos or krasia means power. So democracy means power of the people or people's power. Then we have to write some definitions of democracy. According to Abraham Lincoln, democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. According to John Seeley, democracy is a government in which everyone has a share. In the words of A.V. Dicey, democracy is a form of government in which the governing body is comparatively a larger fraction of the population. Lastly, R.G. Gattel defined democracy as a form of government in which the mass of the population possesses the right to share the exercise of sovereign power. So, we have to write at least two definitions. So, in our first part of the question, we already discussed about the meaning and definition of democracy. In the second part, we have to write the basic features of democracy. The basic features of democracy. So, in this part, we have to write at least 8 features of democracy, where the first feature is popular sovereignty. It is a principle where the authority of state and its government are created and sustained by the consent of its people. People are the source of all political power. It means people are the real sovereign authority. People elect the government. People have the power to overthrow the government. So, in a democracy, people enjoy absolute sovereignty. So, the second feature of democracy is political equality. In a democracy, people enjoy many types of political equality, like they have equality in voting, that is, one man, one vote. They have equality in contesting in election, and they also enjoy equality in the public affair of the government. So we may say that people in a democratic country enjoy many type of social equality, political equality, as well as economic equality. The third important feature of democracy was protection of individual liberties and rights. In a democratic country, people enjoy a number of liberties like freedom of speech and expression, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom of residence. At the same time, they also enjoy many social, economic, and political rights. So, in a democratic country, only people enjoy some sort of liberties and rights. But in an authoritarian form of government or in any other type of form of government, we cannot have individual liberty and rights. The next important feature is majority opinion. In a democracy, it is not possible to gain consent of the people every time. So democracy functions according to the principle of majority. For example, we have majority while formulating our law. We require majority while we formulate our rules and regulation. In the formation of government, also there is need of majority. So, without majority, the decision cannot take in a democracy. So, the presence of political parties is another important feature of democracy. It means political parties are inseparable element of democracy. They are like the lifeline of democracy. Without him, democracy cannot survive. So, in a democracy, the best form of government or political party is bi-party system, where one party is working as government and the second party is functioning as opposition party. So, bi-party system is necessary for successful working of democracy. In the next feature, we have rule of law. The democracy runs according to the principle of rule of law. Rule of law means no one is above the law and all treated equally. It means everybody or everyone will be charged equally to the same law and be subject to the same law of code. Nobody is higher and nobody is lower in the eye of law. For example, if we take the case of India, in Article 14 of the Constitution, we have equality before law and equal protection of law. The next feature is formation of government by election. So it is said that election is an important element of democracy, where the people directly elect the representative through a periodic election. The government did not have any hereditary ruler. So, if we take the example of America, they change their government by election in every 4 years, and in India, we have in every 5 years there is a change of government. Last but not the least, an important feature is peaceful and constitutional change of government. In a democracy, there are two ways to change the government. One is the peaceful way, where there is no need of any war, conflict or disturbances. The second method is constitutional method, where there is election and there is through ballot box we change the government. So let's come to the last part of the question, that is conclusion. Beside the above feature, we have some other features like open debate and discussion and recognition of public opinion are also the feature of democracy. So the success of democracy lies in the strict functioning of the above features. Without application or without the functioning of the above feature, the democracy not sustained. So from the above discussion, it was clear that most of the countries of the world, they adopted democracy as their form of government. So that's all for today. Thank you.